Hey everyone, it's Austin Bach doing a cube draft on MTGO. This is the holiday cube. So we have a couple interesting options here. There's Tinker, which if this is first pick, we can kind of build around it. The idea is pretty simple. You just get some small artifacts and like Mana Crypt and sack them into like Wormcoil Engine or Blightsteel Colossus, so on and so forth. Safest option is probably Lightning Bolt, however. Go some sort of red variant, which is, usually one of the more consistent decks in Cube, but pretty boring all the same. Also Dreadbore, which takes out pretty much anything you have to worry about. There are some really good Planeswalkers in here in this cube, so it's better than it is even in Return to Ravnica Limited, Dreadbore that is. I think I'm just going to go with Lightning Bolt, because it is the safest pick. Even though it is fairly boring, it gets the job done every time. Alright, well, a couple decent cards here. There's a Plow Under, which is very good. It's like a double time walk in most cases. There's an Ajani, which is alright. An Ulamog, which we can build around if we wanted to. No red cards, notably. So, guess we'll just take the best card out of here again. It might be Ulamog, if I wanted to. Let's see. I think Ulamog is one of those, yeah. So we can't do Reanimator with Ulamog, unfortunately. Cryptic Command is always solid, but red-blue is not really a combination that's very common. There's a Sundering Titan, which I do like quite a bit with cards like Tinker. So yeah, I'm kind of wishing I took Tinker, but that's alright. Still not sure what the best card out of all this is. I'll take the Sundering Titan, and then I guess we'll just hope that Tinker comes back. Alright, well, there's an Animate Dead, which we could take right now and build around. And since this is a pretty deep pack, and most cube packs tend to be pretty deep, we might hope to get Faithless Looting back, so we could go like red-black Reanimator. And Sundering Titan's already a fine card to reanimate, so yeah, I'll go ahead and take the Animate Dead, even though there are some really good options to reanimate here, like a Chroma, Elishnorn, Titan, Trastodon. But yeah, I could also go Ball Lightning if I wanted to continue going mono red, but that just seems boring to me. So yeah, we'll go for the red-black Reanimator. There's a Vidalcan Shackles, which is only good in blue. I guess we go with Yawgmoth's Will, and just hope to get that Faithless Looting back. Let's see. There's a Lotus Cobra, I guess, if we wanted to go ramp, as well as a Raphalos, but we did pass like the Emrakul, or the Ulamog rather, so probably not going to go with that. What does Thunderscape do? It either destroys enchantments or makes them discard. That's okay. I think I'm just going to go with the Yawgmoth's Will and continue going with the graveyard strategy. Let's see. This one makes them discard, so don't really want that. Let's see, so this sacks a swamp. Huh, okay, well that's kind of decent for ramp. I guess we can just go with a Firebolt again. Or, not again, but we took a Lightning Bolt, so if this Reanimator option doesn't work out, we could just continue with the mono red, or just like red-black aggro, which is fine. Take a Rift Bolt, but clearly we're taking the Living Death here. Once again, we're going to try to go for the Reanimator strategy. So now we're looking for cards like Buried Alive, Faithless Looting, anything that makes you discard, basically. Liliana of the Veil. Those are the kinds of cards you always want. Nothing great here. I guess we just take Char. Yeah, it's not going to be great. Yep, pretty unexciting pack for us, so we'll just keep going with the red 1-for-1 so we can protect ourselves while we work on filling our graveyard. Pretty much the only thing we have to reanimate right now is Sundering Titan. We can keep in mind that we don't necessarily have to stay in red-black creatures if we're reanimating, because we can just pitch them and then get them back without paying the mana cost, which is generally what you want to do. let's see. Saloon Cavalier is decent. Siege Gang Commander is pretty good protection, I guess. I think I just take the Consuming Vapors here, because it's pretty decent removal. You know, even if Reanimator doesn't work out, you know, red-black control could still be a thing, because we already have some decent removal going. We have a Phyrexian Obliterator, but I think I still just take the removal, because Dreadbore is very good in this format, like I said before, with so many insane creatures and planeswalkers. It's really, really good. It's one of the better removal spells. Let's see. So this exiles a card from an opponent's hand until it dies, basically. Let's see, Silent Spectre. It's okay. I think I'll just take the Golgari Rot Farm in case I decide to splash green. You never know, it could happen. Ooh, and Faithless Looting came back, so definitely taking that over Elish Norn. Yeah, I guess I'll take Thunderscape. Since we did take the green fixing, we could make full use of that. Let's see, so that's sacks a swamp to add 4 black. And yeah, I guess I'll take that, even though, yes, you have to sack a swamp when it comes in, and then you can sack a swamp to give it, to make it tap for 4, basically. Alright, Black Knight's okay. I mean, if we end up having to go aggro, that's a very good red-black aggro card. Yep, so still looking for things to reanimate and ways to get them in our graveyard. Okay, so, Greater Gargadon is decent, I guess, if you reanimate it. Even though basically it's just a 9/7 vanilla, so probably not going to take it here over something like Grave Titan. Blightsteel Colossus would be sweet if we'd taken Tinker, but we didn't, and we can't reanimate it, so Grave Titan's probably just the best card for us. New Battlesphere is kind of the same thing as Grave Titan, but yeah, I like Grave Titan quite a bit. And in a deck like this, since we have so much removal, we don't necessarily have to reanimate it, we can just cast it. Even though I'm still going to try to overload with big dudes that we can... ooh, we got Buried Alive. Sweet. So yeah, we're definitely taking that, and just continue trying to find big creatures to pitch to the graveyard. There's notably also a Sulfuric Vortex, which is really, really good in mono-red. So if we had kept going with the mono-red strategy, we could take the Sulfuric Vortex pretty easily, and we have to keep in mind that that's here. So if we see any red or black enchantment removal, probably going to take it. Like this Thunderscape Battle Mage is going to be a decent sideboard option since we have the Golgari Rot Farm. But yeah, it's like not even a question, we're taking the Buried Alive here. Yawgmoth's Will, I guess, is probably better if you have a bunch of small dudes that you want to reanimate. Ooh, I think I'd take the Broodmate Dragon. It gives me a pretty decent reason to splash green. Pretty good reanimation target, and like Grave Titan, we can just hard cast it if we need to. Also a Thoughtseize, which possibly could come back. Not likely though. But yeah, like I said, what we're looking for now is just big creatures to reanimate. Alright, what do we have here? We have an Ink Eyes. When it deals combat damage, I can put a creature card from their graveyard into my battlefield, so that's decent. Alright, well that's okay, I guess. Oh, well, I didn't see this before, but obviously it's the pick. So if we're not splashing green, we're at least splashing white. Could splash both, of course. Alright, and we get a reanimate, so we are definitely on the reanimator plan now. Now we just need to continue getting big dudes. Let's see, we have a Gul'Draw's Assassin, which is kind of removal, but we have quite a bit of low drop removal as it is. I think I'm just going to take Urabrask here. It'd be pretty sweet to reanimate a Grave Titan and then just swing for, what would it be, 14 while other creatures are tapped. There's also a Molten Tail Massacre, which helps fill the graveyard, which is kind of important. You know, that actually might be the pick here, because we just want to, even though Urabrask is clearly the better card in a vacuum, Masticore is probably going to be better for our strategy, because we can discard our big dudes and then reanimate them. And Masticore is like removal on its own. Yeah, it's probably just clearly the better pick. Necromancy, I'm not quite sure what it does. Let's see. Yeah, it's like a wall of text, but I think the gist of it is you put a creature from the graveyard onto the battlefield with Necromancy attached to it. And then if Necromancy dies, the creature dies. But yeah, it's basically a 3 mana animate dead. Let's see. There's a Boros Signet, which is probably going to be the pick since we want to splash white for Burial Rites, and we haven't seen any white fixing yet. There's also a Vengevine, even though we're not really going to be casting 2 spells, or 2 creature spells at once, since all our creatures are going to be big. Oh, there's also Wheel of Fortune. Ugh. Yeah, I think actually I gotta go Wheel of Fortune here. We'll find white fixing, I think. We just gotta look for those Sacred Foundries. Not Sacred Foundries. Well, yeah, Sacred Foundries and the Orzhov Shockland, which I can't remember the name of right now. Let's see. What does Primal Command do again? Searches my library for a creature, puts it in my hand. Except that we're not in green. We're only splashing it, so probably not going to go with that. I guess I could go with Bloodghast. Even though he's not the most exciting reanimate target. He can attack for a decent amount. Hey, look, we got Godless Shrine and Sacred Foundry. Let's go by color sort really quickly, and we're pretty heavily into black, so I think Godless Shrine is the better pick. You know, splash off the more common color, so we don't have to run as many swamps. Although it's unfortunate those are in the same pack. Definitely the pick. Yep, pretty much the only thing I'm looking for now is big creatures, and we're good. Okay, Niv Mizzet is a big creature, and actually I don't even need to really splash blue for it because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reanimate spells already, so I don't even need to worry about casting Niv Mizzet. I might not even play it. Here I'll take the Orzhov Basilica just to continue our splash of white, so we're probably good on white now. Just for the flashback on Burial Rites, maybe like 1 or 2 more ways to splash green for Broodmate Dragon and Thunderscape. Battle Mage. Yep, but so far this is looking good. Lake of the Dead probably won't make the deck right now. Let's see, what does this do? If it's in my graveyard or on the battlefield, I gain a life. On my upkeep, I can pay 10 to reanimate it. That seems fine. Might play it. Let's see, it exiles a card from an opponent's graveyard. Yeah, we're gonna hate draft that. Dreg Mangler, probably not gonna play. Although Scavenge is pretty decent when we're filling our graveyard. Right now, ways to fill our graveyard are Faithless Looting, Wheel of Fortune, and Molten Tail Masticore, basically. So we also want some more. Alright, we got a Mox Jet, which is decent. Let's see, Razormane Masticore. Huh, okay, so this is another discard outlet, basically. So that seems pretty good. But honestly, I think Zealous Conscripts is the best card in here. One of those more underrated cards. Could take a Gruul Turf to splash as well, but I have a feeling Gruul Turf's going to come back. Mox Jet. You know, obviously the Moxes are overpowered, that's why they're in the Power 9, but this deck in particular, we're not too concerned about ramping. In the early turns, we're just going to be protecting ourselves, filling our graveyard. But yeah, we're going to want Zealous Conscripts, I think. We have a pretty good suite of bombs. I think we want maybe 1 or 2 more. Let's see. Yeah, obviously taking Entomb here. Like not even a question. Let's see. Scroll Rack. Yeah, it's kind of like Ponder without the draw. No, not Ponder. It's like Brainstorm without the card net of 1. So yeah, I'll take... Ooh, there's a Putrid Imp too. Actually, I think I want the Putrid Imp in case I'm stuck with all these cards in my hand. And I want to get them in my graveyard. And we already have ways of searching my library for cards like Buried Alive is pretty good on its own. Ugh, I don't know. You know what? I think Entomb is going to be better because, you know, we just want to get some consistency in finding our creatures and putting them in the graveyard. Alright, so right now we're sitting at 25 playables. That's not going, so I'll cut Thunderscape at whatever this thing's called also. There's a Crucible of Worlds if I decide to put stuff in my graveyard. Oh, I cut the wrong land, but there's a Golgari Rot Farm over here as well. Here, I think I take the Llanowar Wastes, or I guess Exhume. It's also going to be fine. I do have to be concerned about them going the Reanimator plane as well, even though I have like kind of monopolized the market in that respect. No, I think I just go with Exhume, and as I said, just keep trying to find big creatures, because so far we have a ton of reanimating creatures. Here's an Overgrown Tomb. Nothing else really we want. What does this do? I draw cards for every damage it does to an opponent, basically. That's okay. Yeah, I'll just take the fixing. Seems fine. Yeah. Let's see. Braids. So at the beginning of each player's upkeep, sack an artifact, creature, or land. So this is kind of like Smokestack without jumping up at all, basically. See, there's a Sword of Light and Shadow, which is decent, I suppose, when we have all these big dudes that we're getting back very quickly. Flame Tongue Kavu deals 4 damage when entering, so that's okay. I'll just take the sword. Seems fine. It's very possible I don't play it because we're already pretty good on playables. I guess I'll take an Armada Worm because it's a good reanimating target, and for the same reason as Nimbuzette, we don't really have to worry about paying the mana cost when we have so much discard and reanimation. Let's see, what does Enlightened Tutor do for me? Search my library for an artifact or enchantment, so it gets like Animate Dead and Sundering Titan, which are fine, but probably not going to be splashing white for it, because we only have 2 white sources, and this is something you want to cast in the first couple turns of the game. So do I take Lightning Helix here? This taps for green or white, which are 2 splashes, so I guess I just take the Brushland. Yeah, it seems fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, so 27 playables, definitely cutting a couple of these. Well, there's Smokestack. Bone Splitter is better in aggro, obviously. Escape Battle Mage, that's one of the other cycles, I suppose. I could just go Dark Ritual, even though we don't really want to get up to really high mana cost, but this goes towards like Storm, which is kind of a thing. Let's see, so this Pernicious Deed is like kind of like a Ratchet Bomb, but I'll take Dark Ritual and possibly play it, but probably not. Alright, well there's the Storm Finisher. Razormane Masticore is another discard outlet, so I guess I can take it. It's fine. Yep, we didn't get a ton of exciting bombs. I mean, we got Broodmate Dragon and Broodmate Worm, if you want to look at it that way. Grave Titan does kind of the same thing. Angel, I guess I can play, because it's at least a... Oh, but yeah, here we're taking Putrid Imp for sure. Alright, we get an Ultimate Price. Oh, this is a discard outlet. Huh. Yeah, I can see taking this. Yeah, it's kind of the same thing as Ultimate Price. It's a removal spell, but we do have a Dreadbore, a Faithless Looting, or I mean a Lightning Bolt, a Char. Sure, because this is better for our deck. I'll take Firestorm. Nothing really I want here as a counter. Let's see, it copies a creature. So I'll take that since we're playing the big creatures. Alright, this is going to be a difficult deck to construct for sure. Let's see, choose an artifact a player controls. I'll choose that so I can read it. Boom, boom, boom. If, I don't know exactly what that does, but I'll take that. Hey, diagram, cool. Alright, so, yeah, I'm going to pause this and go to deck construction and try to figure this out. Okay, so here are 27 cards I'm considering for the deck. It's also very possible I only play 16 lands. since most of our reanimation stuff is happening the first 3 turns. Like, unless we want to get up to unburial rights, we don't really have to worry about making all our land drops. We can just worry about pitching cards and so on and so forth. So let's look at what this deck actually does. Discard outlets, we have Putrid Imp, Faithless Looting, and both the Masticores. Searching the library, we have Entomb and Buried Alive. And then for actual reanimation, we have Reanimate, Animate Dead, Exhume, Yawgmoth's Will kind of counts, and Unburial Rights and Living Death, which is quite a lot. So I'm not cutting any of these big dudes, that's for sure. The cards that aren't being cut, I'll put in this pile. Okay, and then we have also Living Death, Exhume, Animate, Reanimate, Faithless, Entomb, Yawgmoth's Will, Buried Alive, and Necromancy. So leaves us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cards. So that means this is 16 over here. So we have 7 more cards to put in. So we'll put our discard outlets. That leaves us with 4. And then basically we just have removal. Wait, what happened to our Dreadbore? Oops. Alright, well that's going in. So there's 1. There's 2, I forgot about that. I guess I just take Lightning Bolt and Zealous Conscripts. And then, actually Firestorm counts as a guy as well to pitch our creatures. So basically we still have to cut 1 card if these are the cards we cut, which I think would be fine. Let's go back to mana cost. So we have 1 card to cut. Not sure exactly what it's going to be. We could just go Lightning Bolt, since it's like the only card in our deck besides Dreadbore that doesn't go towards our strategy. But Lightning Bolt's just such a good card, and we need some early defense. Like, I saw we passed the Pyroclasm, which I would have liked to have in this deck. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I think possibly all these discard outlets are going to be good enough that we aren't going to need Firestorm, or maybe like Putrid Imp. Because we have cards like Wheel of Fortune, stuff like that. I don't really know. Maybe we just go with this and only run 16 lands, because we do have like the Rot Farm, which kind of counts as a draw card land as it is. So let's look at our lands. We have Black Source. Well, actually, all these are black sources, but we have a green source, a green source, a green source. So we're definitely good on green. We don't need any forests. 2 white source, actually 3 white sources, so we're probably also good on white since we're only running on burial rights. Yeah, actually our splashes of black and white are pretty solid, or not black, green and white rather, because it's only for Broodmate Dragon, which we might cast, Armada Worm, which we're most likely not casting from our hand. And yeah, let's just add some lands. I think 6 swamps and 5 mountains should be fine. How many red spells are we casting? We do have these early red costs. I think I want to go 6 mountains, 5 swamps, because all these also tap for black, so we do have 9 black sources, 6 red sources. Is it 6 red going to be enough for Faithless Looting, Wheel of Fortune, Dreadbore, all this stuff? I think it should be fine. So yeah, I think this is a pretty sick deck, pretty sick reanimator deck. We're reanimating some pretty good targets, although notably Niv Mizzet will not be able to ping creatures because we're not splashing blue. But it's still a big dude that flies and draws me cards. And in a deck like this, you just want to have as many big drops as possible. I don't think we saw enough that I wish I'd taken. It was just very light on him. Someone else is probably playing ramp with the Blight Steels and the Ulamogs, so we just gotta work with what we got. But yeah, all the pieces are here. Let's just hope it performs.